Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Build the Boss podcast, the podcast that is dedicated to helping you become the best version of yourself, achieve success in life, and reach your max potential. Welcome if you are new, and welcome back if you are a homie. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are pushing through. Yeah. Life has been tough, guys. Life has really been chaotic. It's been stressful, Anxiety. Anxiety is just R. I've been in a very R, just R state of like, I had a friend in middle school, and whenever she'd get upset, she wouldn't scream or anything. She wouldn't yell. She'd just go R, and I've kind of become like that too. R. I feel very R right now, But it's okay. We keep fighting. We keep pushing through. And it's really in these moments when you're just getting close to rock bottom where you have to really realize just how much there is in the world to be grateful for. And, I know you guys are going to say, oh, you think it's every single episode. Yeah, you really don't mean it. But the amount of an impact you guys have had on my life is surreal. And really one of the main reasons I keep pushing through, even during the tough times of life, is when I'm with you guys. So really remembering that, we've been able to build such a positive and kind and how can I explain it? Just friendly and empowering community is really, really sparks a light within me like no other. And yeah, there's so much else to be grateful for too in the world as well. But you guys, I really appreciate you guys. Like every comment, every like, you guys don't even know how much I appreciate it. And the thing is that, when you're coming from a place and you're starting something from scratch, it can be really scary. Like with all of the statistics and news and stuff on the web, I've often heard that most podcasts, fail after the 7th episode. And really hearing that made me worried about the journey and made me worried about how things were going to go. But seeing how far we've been able to come, I really appreciate it. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of the love and all of the support. If you aren't following, make sure to follow at Build the Boss podcast on Insta. Lots of good stuff there. But yeah, if you haven't shared with a friend yet, make sure to share with a friend and get them on their personal development journey as well, because the more people we get on their personal development and personal growth journeys, the better of a world we'll have and the brighter of a future we'll have. Today, I usually on the podcast, I talk about like a specific topic, right? Like consistency and, self-esteem, self-awareness, all that stuff, all the good stuff, really, with personal development. But today, I kind of wanted to chat one-on-one with you guys about just how important it is to take charge in life. And I know I did an episode on believing in yourself and building the boss within, but this one is going to be a little more, how can I say, from the heart. I usually speak as authentically as I possibly can, whatever is in my brain and is in my heart, but it's mainly the brain, mainly what I've learned through past experiences, and mainly what I've learned through self-help books and podcasts. But this one is going to be really, really, really the most authentic AF episode we've done so far. And I don't know. The thing with the number 27 has always been, there's just been something about this number that I've loved. 9 times 3. But I don't know. But I'm basically ranting right now, but I'm gonna be really one-on-one with you guys. Life can beat you to the ground, and sometimes you're in a situation and you're dealing with things that feel like it can't get even more worse. You feel like a POS, you feel trashy, you feel lethargic, you feel heavy. And no amount of journaling and no amount of, like, as much as it helps, like, journaling really helps. I think, like, I'm more of a person that likes to write. So this is personal, but I find that writing my emotions out is really helpful. But some days you don't feel like functioning. Like, everything hurts. And you're experiencing almost like, I was listening to Emma Chamberlain's podcast the other day. Anything Goes. And she has this episode from, I think it's from like earlier back into the pandemic, called Life Burnout. And I just listened to that episode, and like, how much I resonated with how she felt was like, it's surreal. Like, sometimes you just feel nothing. Like, you're writing, like, I found myself writing an English paper, and I was just like, what the heck? I just zoned out. And sometimes, like, when you tend to lose sense of reality, it's a real big sign that you're not taking care of yourself. Like, I was with my dad in the kitchen, and I was making myself dinner the other night, and he's like, "Manaz, did you bring out the ketchup?" And I'm like, "No." Because I had told him that I'd wanted ketchup, and he's like, "Have you brought out the ketchup?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Okay, go get the ketchup from the fridge." And so I'm like, "Okay." And then I continued to cut the chicken I was cutting for my bowl. And he's like, "I said, go get it from the fridge." And I'm like, "Oh, go get it from the fridge." And sometimes when you tend to zone out, you literally, like, nothing makes sense, and you become so, okay, I'm sorry to say this, so dumb, and so just the amount, how bizarre you can become. Or we were, because we usually shop online, and so my dad and I, we were heading out, and so we saw one of the guys, he was coming in for delivery, and he had a package in his hand, and we were like, "Oh, is it for your apartment?" And he's like, "Oh, it's for this apartment." And then we're like, "Okay," and we reached to get it, but it wasn't for our apartment. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, but anyways, getting back to the point. Firstly, it's in those moments that you realize, okay, there is clearly something going on in your brain. And that just really goes to show just how much when you don't focus on yourself and you don't take time to pause, reconnect, reflect, and be self-aware, that you really lose the knowledge that a regular human being should have. And as much as a thing this is to laugh about, it also isn't a good sign. Okay? It isn't a good sign because it is showing that you are not self-aware. You are not really connecting with yourself, and you're just focusing so much on the external that you're really forgetting about the internal. And that can be losing sense of reality is really, really, really not a good sign. I'm gonna tell you that. And this is really taking time to pause and reconnect sometimes. Like, as much as I emphasize it, sometimes you really forget about reconnecting with yourself because you're so drawn to doing different things and so focused on others. And really, it's in those moments that you have to realize that you gotta take care of the person within you too. For me, I tend to have, I don't know, because for the majority of people, it's, you know, it can be multiple things that we focus on too much. It can be, tasks that we have to get done. It can be situations that we have, like problems we have to solve. It can be lots of different things. But the main struggle I find with teens, especially, is that we're so focused on being quote unquote normal and, not being judged by others that we really forget about how we feel and how we're doing. And this mindset can be really damaging to grow up with. And, when you grow up constantly seeking validation, it can be really hard to navigate your way through life because you're so used to it. You're so focused on others' emotions that you really tend to forget, okay, how is this serving me and my purpose or not? And that's where having a midlife crisis comes in, with it, and it can be with different things. It can be with jobs, it can be with, it's mainly jobs and study fields, really. I tend to notice, parents are always emphasizing, how you got to become a doctor, you got to become a lawyer, you got to become a really high paying job. And kids go into uni thinking, okay, I'm finally going to get that validation, that love from my parents. And so they get that job. They start a family if they're forced into it. Marriage, I feel like, I know this sounds okay, building the boss is personal development, but I feel like we should, like, in the future, have an episode on marriage and relationships, just because relationships make up such a big part of our lives. But yeah, really, I feel like we focus. So they go into this. I have to stick to the point. They go into this, and really, they create the luxurious life with the mansion and the Lamborghini and yada yada. But they don't feel fulfilled. And when mama and papa aren't in control anymore, they're like, okay, this isn't the life that I want. And really, the the biggest the biggest strength that one can have in life is to do whatever the hell they want without giving a damn about what others think. That is so there's just something about that that's so empowering, not giving a damn about what anyone has to say. And really, I feel like many people are in the belief, I feel like many adults have just grown under the impression that kids are always wrong, they're always right, they always have the right to have full control, they always should be in power. But really, I think that there are some kids out there that are potentially smarter. They can outsmart any adult, and they're not given the opportunity to rise to their full potential just because adults are thinking, okay, you are you aren't responsible enough. But the amount of creativity and imagination and brightness within a child can be so surreal. But in childhood, what most parents do is that they shut off that light, and they don't allow the child to really shine. And so really, it's about recognizing that, okay, if you're a parent listening to this, I just want you to know to please allow your child to be as authentic as they possibly can be, and to not judge them for their imperfections and flaws. Embrace the imperfections, embrace the authenticity, and not put them under the lens that they have to fit certain standards, because that'll, over time, just make them feel miserable in life. But yeah, so childhood trauma can really be a tough thing to navigate your way through in families. But, at the end of the day, you got to do something about it. And really, this is where therapy and stuff like that comes into play. But at the end of the day, when life gets tough and you feel like there's just no other possible way that you're gonna break, and you feel helpless and lonely, and like that POS that I keep saying, it's really it's gonna be really hard for your monkey mind to realize, but you just gotta have gratitude even for the little things. And for this week's assignment, I encourage you guys to make a list of things that make you happy, and to stick this around wherever you want. It can be your mirror, it can be your wall. I have mine on my mirror, and it's surrounded by, I think, sticky notes. But really, just find gratitude for the little things when it gets tough. And if you are dealing with people talking behind your back, I just want you to know that when they are seeing something within you that they are lacking, and that's probably the authenticity and embracing the fact that not everything's perfect, and you are sparking this hate, and not hate, but this jealousy within them, this envy. And to really, you keep pushing, you keep fighting. They can go talk garbage about you behind your back, but you keep working, you keep fighting, and eventually when that person comes to realize where they are in life and where you are in life, they'll realize that there's nothing else for them to talk smack about, because they can keep on focusing on other people and other people's emotions, but what you keep working on yourself, and when they see where they are and you see where you're at, they'll see that there's just nothing they can do about what you're doing and how much of a change you've been able to spark. Alrighty? I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. Make sure to follow the Instagram if you haven't already. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. I wish you all a wonderful rest of your week.